The colony is a controlled experiment to see if 10 strangers can rebuild society in the wake of a global catastrophe. The backgrounds and expertise of these 10 volunteers represent a cross-section of modern society. For 10 weeks, they'll be isolated, with no electricity from the grid, no running water, and no communication with the outside world. All they'll have to work with are their skills, the tools and supplies inside an abandoned factory, and whatever they can scavenge at a handful of cordoned-off locations.
After a disaster, public utilities will go down, but the survivors are going to need a secure, safe, reliable source of water. Close proximity to a lake, reservoir, or river will be critical to their long-term survival. Water from the Los Angeles River is a toxic stew. It's full of metals, pesticides, algae, bacteria, runoff from automobiles. It's completely unsafe to drink without some form of filtration.
You can actually see there's some stuff swimming around in there right now.
Scientist John C. finds that his computer skills aren't the only asset he brings to the colony.
Start with a 55-gallon drum, and then we'll put a layer of sand, we'll put a layer of charcoal, we'll put a layer of sand, several layers.
His understanding of water filtration could be the key to a safe water supply. The plan is to clean the water in 3 stages. First, a layer of sand sifts out large impurities such as rocks and algae. Then a highly porous layer of charcoal traps smaller impurities such as lead and E. coli. The final step is boiling out any remaining bacteria. Then they'll have safe, filtered drinking water. Using sand and charcoal they find in the yard, the colonists get to work.
One of those, and then we are going to have the proof point. I walked over there. Amy and Leilani were talking about water purification. You know, I'm thinking about one thing, and she starts asking me about how do we purify water? Could we use the solar, etc.? And all of a sudden, this giant kind of, you know, light bulb moment happens. I can make ozone, and ozone is the chemical that many municipalities use to like purify their water.
Ozone is a highly reactive, unstable form of oxygen that can be used to kill bacteria and other microbes in water. Ozone molecules can form in several different ways, one of which is when high-voltage electrical discharge passes through the air, like lightning.
Ozone.
I don't think for very long, though.
And it's the smell you get after a lightning storm. You walk outside and that great fresh smell. Well, a little of it makes it smell fresh. A lot of it actually is very, very active.
To purify water, John C. will build what he calls an ozonator. The ozonator will be comprised of 2 basic parts: the Tesla coil, which creates ozone by emitting high-voltage electricity in the form of electrical arcs, and a container that will capture the ozone and pump it into a bucket of water, killing off any harmful microbes.
It should be better than chlorinating it, and we should be able to get away from having to boil it at all.
With the water supply replenished, John C. gets back to work on his ozonator. First step, the Tesla coil. A Tesla coil consists of 2 coils of wire, one laid out in a flat spiral and one wrapped hundreds of times around a plastic pipe. As current spirals around the flat primary coil, its voltage increases. As the current flows up the many windings of wire, the voltage increases until it's released from an electrode at the top.
There would be about a couple of 100,000 volts coming out from the top. It would be a very snaky, kind of cool-looking discharge.
John starts by making the primary coil.
I'm going to make a flat coil of wire all the way out here. Evil person. Right, good with the glue gun.
With the primary coil complete, John sets the secondary coil in the center.
So this piece of pipe sits in the middle of this. I have thousands of wires, maybe 1,000 windings. And these are all wires that I found from pieces of old transformers in here.
To power the Tesla coil, John C. will use the same power source from the transmitter he built last week. To test it, all he has to do is swap a wire.
Maybe a couple 100,000 volts. Now, if I touch that spark coil, I end up on the ground. It hurts.
If John can find a way to capture the ozone created by the spark, the colonist propane problem may be solved. John C. has one more step to finish on his ozonator before he can turn the 220 gallons of filtered river water into drinking water.
Well, I'm getting about 200,000 volts is what I'm guessing, and it's looking pretty good. Or maybe it's a little less than that voltage, but I'm getting plenty of ozone. Now my big challenge is, can I capture that ozone and get it bubbling through water? I'm just trying to figure out what kind of container would hold our ozone best. I need to be able to get high voltage wires in there, I need to get a ground in there, and I need to get air in and air out, and it's all got to be airtight.
The scientist needs the help of a fabricator.
The last thing I need for that ozone generator is a reaction vessel where I can actually generate the ozone and blow the air over.
We're going to have the plastic tube, and we're going to plug the tube, and we have 2 electrodes in here arcing, making our ozone. Yeah, I've never heard of ozone filtering, but I don't know. He knows, but I know how to make it.
Yeah.
While handyman Michael fabricates the air chamber, John attaches a pump he scavenged from a blood pressure machine they took from the abandoned hospital.
Plugged it in, and sure enough, it's pumping. It's not a lot of air, but it's enough pressure for us to work.
What do we call this?
Ozonifier?
No, but this tube, I have no idea.
Reaction cell, ozone cell.
There you go, the ozone cell.
I like it.
That's about it. That's about it. Good enough.
It's time to hook up the Tesla coil to see if it works.
Okay. Clear. Okay, ready? Okay, got arcs. Good. We got bubbles?
Do we have bubbles?
So that's it, I think. We're generating ozone.
Ozone into the water.
That's it. Hey!
It's
Here's a view. Thank you for that, man, because I was just stressing that.
Between me and the professor, I don't think there's anything we couldn't figure out or build.
There's no way for John to test the water for microbes, but he trusts his science. He's confident it will be clean after 30 minutes of ozonation.
I'll drink that. I'll drink it. I'll be the guinea pig, all right?
That's really clear. That's really clear.
I'm going to take the first taste.
Let's try it.
All right.
So willing to try this.
Maya.
Either water.
So, cheers. A little bit of ozone.
To your health. That's where it turns into a monster.
Actually, you can taste the ozone. It'll be like chlorine. Yeah, sure, go ahead. Pass around. You know, well, I gave it 30 minutes. I'm just being safe. It may not even take that long. Or, of course, it could take much longer. I think it's good.
We draw on here a lot of power or no? Not.
No, it's just running on a car battery.
You can taste the ozone in the water.